Hello everyone. So today I'm going to start a new topic, that is artificial reproductive technique. Artificial reproductive technique is used for those couples who are not able to produce babies. See, the condition is artificial reproductive technique are the ray of hope for those infertile couple who are unable to produce their own children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. Now, number of things are there. Ray of hope means they are lost all the hope. उनके बच्चे हो ही नहीं रहे, तो उनके लिए एक आशा की किरण है, ray of hope है. To those infertile couple who are called infertile, that is those who are unable to produce baby of their own, है ना? Unable to produce their children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. Unprotected means they are not using any type of contraceptive, yet they are not able to produce. They are not using any type of contraceptive and they are having sexual relation, yet they are unable to produce children on their own. Then we say that they are infertile, and then they must have tried it for a long time, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and then they got fed up. तो उनके लिए ये आशा की किरण है. For them it is a ray of hope. Every married couple want to have baby on their own. उनको सबको अपना खुद का बच्चा ही चाहिए, ये तो क्लियर बात है. Everyone want to have child of their own. ठीक है. Now the failure can be because of the several reasons. The infertility can be because of the several reasons. कई सारे कारण हो सकते हैं. Because of that the infertility can be there. क्या है? Due to unable to produce gametes. Male enough sperm नहीं बना रहे हैं या फीमेल अंडे बना ही रहे नहीं रहे, or due to the insufficient number of gametes produced. In case of male gamete, the sperms are not sufficient in number. Each insemination produces somewhere about 200 to 300 million sperms. तो आप मान के चलिए कि 100 million तो हुई हो, because the sperms are the blindfolded, they are going into the female reproductive tract. Some may go in the opposite direction, some may get embedded into the walls of the uterus, some may go somewhere, some may go this side. Egg may be in the left hand side, they may be going right hand side, elsewhere and all. So only if the number of sperms are more, then the probability of having fertilization is more. So that is why the number of sperms जो है वो ज़्यादा होने चाहिए. Due to the insufficient number of motile gametes, now number तो है लेकिन they do not have motility. The motility, the required speed of movement, that is not there. Then also they will not be able to reach to the egg. Before that they will die. So that is also a very important reason. Due to the production of insufficient reproductive hormone, we know that entire process of our life is actually controlled by the reproductive by the various type of hormones, and so does for the reproduction also. The reproductive system is controlled by the reproductive hormone. If the reproductive hormones are not in sufficient number, naturally some problem or other will be there. Due to the blockage of duct, now the male reproductive system is having several ducts. Retitestis is there, vas efferentia is there, epididymis is there, vas deferens is there, urethra is there. All these are ducts. Somewhere the duct may get closed. See, body तो अंदर से hollow ही है ना, so the tube may somewhere bend, or somewhere they may develop some type of blockade, some type of growth, etc. So it may be possible. Same is case of female. The vagina is there, then the cervix is there, the uterus is there, fallopian tube is there. Somewhere some type of blockade is there, then they will not be able to produce gamete, or the sperm will not be able to meet the ovum, or after the fertilization the zygote will not be able to reach up to uterus. Due to the weak muscles of the uterus जो है, that has to develop the baby. The 9 months baby will be there, the embryo will be growing in the uterus. The walls of the uterus should be strong enough, which was only of this much size, to grow up to so big size where it can hold the fetus. वो 9 मंथ का होते होते पूरे एक यंग बच्चे के बराबर, मतलब एक पैदा होते हुए बच्चे के बराबर हो जाता है, विच में बी ऑफ अबाउट 3 to 4 kg, जो भी है, एनीवेयर इन बिटवीन. तो इतने बड़े उसको, तो द मसल शुड बी स्ट्रॉन्ग इनफ टू carry the weight, to hold it. Okay, and in that time the mothers may be moving, they may be running, many of them are even taking part in the sports, and some are even, we have seen this Olympics, we have seen one lady came with that, वो क्या है, तलवारबाजी क्या कहते हैं उसको, in that, even pregnant woman. ठीक है. So when they are moving and if the muscles are not strong enough, the abortion will take place anytime. Due to the incompatibility of the or immunological issues, where what happens, the male sperm and the female's egg both have to be meet. The foreign body is entering into female's body. the male sperm are entering into the female's body. It is not always accepted. ठीक है, बाय लास्ट से इट एक्सेप्ट हो जाता है. Sometime immunological issues are there where the sperms may not be welcome. बोले आप कौन, who are you, where are you come from, and they may be rejected. The sperm will be rejected. They may be have some immunological or compatibility issue. The egg may not ready to accept the sperms. Why? Because the egg itself is having granular cell layer, or they are having corona radiata and all. So these layers may not accept the sperms. Okay, due to some severe infection. Now, infections are one of the biggest reason. We already studied in the previous video when we are studying about the STD, and I said due to STD, if the STD are ignored for a long time, it may lead to pelvic inflammation or it may lead to infertility. तो वो कुछ न कुछ पार्ट को ऐसे डैमेज कर देंगे कि the mother will not be able to maintain fertility. ठीक है, due to congenital issue, पैदाइशी कुछ ऐसे इशू होते हैं where there is no solution, and this may lead to the even due to effect of some of the drugs which are taken. Now both the types of drugs, whether it is drugs which are taken by the adolescents uh, for fun purpose or for other purpose, whatever it is, or the drugs which are used for curing some disease, medicinal drugs, both, if they are taken in the wrong amount or the wrong quantity, then it may have some type of effect. And lastly, some of the psychological issue. Now, psychological issue is very common. You see, in India, it is very commonly woman is always blamed. So, if suppose they are unable to produce a child 1 year, 1.5 year, then every chalta firta person, everyone who meets you, they will say, "Arey, कब खुशखबरी दे रहे हो? When are you giving us a good news?" And this will create psychological problem, and this will prevent the hormone to produce. And if the hormones are not produced properly, the reproductive system will not work. Now we have often seen such couple when they the woman is getting enough of chance to play with children, or when they adopt a child, then some good vibes comes, and because of the hormones that start producing, and then they will be able to have their own baby. Okay, so here it is a psychological issue which is ultimately controlling the hormone production, and hormones are ultimately controlling the reproductive system. So there are several 11 issues I have written. There may be many more, because we are not studying here medical, we are studying only class 10th and 12th. Okay, so up to that level only we have described. Now we must remember that in India often the blame is given to women. Always woman is blamed. नहीं हो रहा बच्चा, अरे तुम तो कुंठा हो, तुम तो ये हो, तुम तो वो हो, तुम तो बांझ हो. And the men or the family people will always ready to look for another woman. दूसरी शादी कर लो, तीसरी शादी कर लो, and it was from ages it was going on. We have seen several kings, they are remarried to have a baby, and the defect may be in them, defect may be in the man itself. ठीक है, sometimes they get married and कुछ ऐसा हो जाता है, then the psychological issue, and that may lead to their own baby, but it is not always true, and the remarriage is not a solution. The problem can be lying in the man itself. However, it is not true that the defect is always lying in the man, but a woman, but it is also in the man. So either of the person it can be. तो हम पूरा ब्लेम औरत को नहीं दे सकते. The blame can be in the male or the female. Defect can be in the male or in the female. Male can also produce not enough number of sperms, or the motility is not there, or the some duct is blocked, or some hormonal issues, or some incompatibility issue. ये सारे issue को हम women में कहाँ ढूंढेंगे? ठीक है, so women है ही अपने issue, but it is not always true. ठीक है, hence very first thing is to find out where the defect is. इनफर्टिलिटी का ट्रीटमेंट सीधा नहीं करने है, और रीमैरिज का तो सोचना ही नहीं है. उनको पहले पता करना है कि where the defect lies, whether it is lies in the male or it is lying in the female, and then whether the effect is physical, or whether it is hormonal. If it is hormonal, it can be treated by giving the hormonal drugs and all, and if it is physical, कुछ और इशू है तो उसको ART से करेंगे. तो once it is found the reason of the defect, appropriate assisted reproductive technique can be used, and these are expensive, क्योंकि As such, we know medical treatment is expensive in India, and here we had to go number of times. एक नहीं, दो नहीं, तीन नहीं, चार नहीं, it may be 15, 16 or it may be 20 or more sittings may be there. ठीक है, प्री फर्टिलाइजेशन, फिर फर्टिलाइजेशन के बाद अगेन, क्योंकि इट शुड बी प्रॉपरली मॉनिटर्ड, तो ये एक्सपेंसिव हो जाएगा, टाइम कंज्यूमिंग. The person should be, couple should be free enough whenever doctor calls, when have to be go, and complicated process, काफी सारी चीजें इन्वॉल्व होगी इसके अंदर. ठीक है, पीरियड्स विल बी टेकन केयर, कब कितने चल रही है, साइकिल्स वगैरह देखेंगे, हार्मोन्स विल बी क्या कहते हैं मॉनिटर्ड, एंड नंबर ऑफ अदर थिंग्स विल बी मॉनिटर्ड, the mucus quantity and the uterus and uterus strength and all number of things. Now I am not a doctor so tell you all those things, but it is a complicated process. One cannot simply say कि भैया गया हो गया और चलो. ठीक है, number of things will be there. If the gametes are not produced, that the gametes has to be collected from elsewhere. They have to be stored. They have to be fertilized outside. They have to be implanted and then monitored. Okay, so let's discuss them, this process one by one. The very first thing is in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization, where the in vitro means, vitro means vitreous, vitreous means glass, glass means chemical, the equipments which we are using in chemistry lab or in any lab in fact. तो हम इसको कई बार commonly test tube baby भी कह देते हैं, whereas there is no test tube used in the entire process. There is no test tube used. Okay, test tube is only a representation of the apparatus. Okay, now in most, it is the most common type of ART which is used for several conditions. किस किस काम में, जब man is not producing enough of sperm, less number of sperm बना रहा है, तब भी ये यूज हो सकता one of the method. ठीक है, for the man whose sperms are not compatible, कि वो उसके sperm उसकी वाइफ के साथ में compete ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, then we have to take the sperm from elsewhere and we have to fertilize it and then we have to place it. The man is physically unable to move, वो तो खुद हिल ही नहीं सकता है, बिकॉज ऑफ द पैरालिटिक अटैक और बिकॉज ऑफ सम टाइप ऑफ एक्सीडेंट्स और बिकॉज ऑफ सम अदर रीजंस. ठीक है ना, कई बार कहते हैं ना, तो आदमी तो वेजिटेबल हो गया, गॉड न करे किसी के साथ ऐसा हो, लेकिन ड्यू टू सम रीजन और अदर, ठीक है, एक्सीडेंट हो गया या कुछ और हो गया, तो वो बेड रिडन हो गया. नाउ ही कैन नॉट मूव, ही कैन नॉट परफॉर्म द एक्ट ऑफ गेमिक ट्रांसफर. इन दैट क्या करना होगा इन दैट केस? तो वी विल हैव टू कलेक्ट द स्पर्म and we'll have to fertilize it. Okay, now artificial insemination can also be done, that we'll study later part. When woman is not producing gamete and the gamete is collected from the donor, तो डोनर से गैमेट लेंगे, उसको फर्टिलाइज करेंगे, देन इट विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड. ठीक है, इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन का प्रोसीजर क्या है, व्हाट आर द प्रोसीजर स्टेप्स क्या है? फर्स्ट, द ओवा इज कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम अ वुमन और अ डोनर गिविंग रिक्वायर्ड हार्मोन्स. नाउ जनरली व्हाट हैपेंस, the egg is not produced or egg is produced, एक अंडे से हम इन विट्रो फर्टिलाइजेशन नहीं करेंगे, तो we will collect 2, 3, 4 eggs. ठीक है, this can be collected from the woman if she is producing enough, otherwise we'll have to take it from the donor. And then for particular period, जब तक कि number of eggs इतने चाहिए उतने नहीं हो जाते हैं, they have to be stored in the cryogenic condition in liquid nitrogen at -273 degrees Celsius. The ova is stored in the cryogenic condition in the laboratory. The sperms are collected either from the husband or from the donor. If husband is producing sperm, well and good. If it is producing less, then 2-3 times का ले लेंगे. And if it is not producing, then we'll have to take it from the donors. Okay, and motility or compatibility issue वगैरह जो भी कुछ है उसको देखते हैं. Now both the sperms and the ova are placed in the suitable instruments in the bodily condition. What is the temperature, what is the moisture, what are the type of hormones, what are the type of minerals are required, all those things have to be provided. यही तो साइंस है, इसी के लिए तो पैसा ले रहे होंगे. ठीक है, that is why it is not in everyone's reach. So this is done by professionals at a very high precision, and ये पूरा sterile process होना चाहिए. There should be no chance of any type of infection. ठीक है, so that is to be done in the laboratory with utmost precision. Okay. Now after the fertilization, the zygote is formed and the zygote will start dividing. And zygote is attained 8 cell stage blastomere, then it is transferred into the fallopian tube. So इसको कहेंगे zygote intra fallopian transfer. Zygote intra fallopian transfer. Zygote intra fallopian transfer is always done in 8 cell blastomere state. You must remember the term ZIFT. Z stand for zygote, I इंट्रा, F फॉर फेलोपियन, T फॉर ट्रांसफर. ओके, फर्टिलाइजेशन नहीं है, फेलोपियन है. ओके, तो ये याद रखना. लेकिन अगर 8 सेल से ज्यादा सेल का स्टेट आ गया, देन इट हैज टू बी ट्रांसप्लांटेड इनटू यूटेरस. 16 और मोर सेल हो गया इन द यूटेरस, इंट्रा यूटेराइन इम्प्लांटेशन और ट्रांसफर जो भी कहेंगे आप. ठीक है. नाउ एम्ब्रियो डेवलप्स इन द यूटेरस, वो तो कॉमन चीज है. Embryo will always develop in uterus. You cannot develop the embryo in the laboratory in the glass instrument or device. Okay, so ये हो गया. Now since the laboratory or devices are used, so that is why it is sometimes called as test tube baby. Okay, तो देखिए प्रोसीजर क्या है. सबसे पहले ओवेरियन स्टिमुलेशन, हार्मोन इज गिवन. द लेडी को हम हार्मोन देंगे so that she will produce or release egg. Now more than one egg may require. Okay, so the egg will be collected from the ovaries and then it will be stored in the cryogenic condition. Okay, then ये हो गया step 3. Sperm is collected and they are also produced and are prepared. Then fertilization is there. The egg and the sperm are kept together in the required conditions. So the fertilization will take place. Once the fertilization took place, देखिए यहाँ एक अंडा है, काफी सारे sperms आ गए उसको, है ना. We had to, because we already stated the number of sperms are attaining, है ना. और कोई एक उसको fertilize करेगा, है ना. यहाँ एक गलती हमेशा याद रखना, एक ही sperm से fertilization होगा, 2 3 4 नहीं जाने हैं. Only egg, one egg can be fertilized by only one sperm. So any one will fertilize. Soon after the fertilization, the cell will start dividing into 2, 4, 8 cell. 8 cell होने के बाद इसको फेलोपियन ट्यूब में ट्रांसफर कर. 16 सेल हो गया तो यूट्रस में ट्रांसफर कर. ठीक है. सो दैट इज एम्ब्रियो ट्रांसफर. तो दीज आर द स्टेप्स. ओके, देखने में बहुत आसान लग रहा है बट ये उतना ही कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. दूसरा है इन विवो फर्टिलाइजेशन. फर्स्ट वाज इन विट्रो, दिस इज इन विवो. विवो मतलब इनसाइड द बॉडी. ठीक है, बॉडी के अंदर हो रहा है. नाउ समटाइम व्हेन द फीमेल इज नॉट एबल टू प्रोड्यूस ओवा, द ओवा इज कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम द डोनर एंड इट इज ट्रांसपोर्टेड इनटू द fallopian tube. It is transferred into the fallopian tube and the male is allowed to have common process. Okay, mating, so that the semen will be inserted and the fertilization will take place inside. So अगर वो हो रहा है normal तो ठीक है. If it is not there, then the artificially sperm will be collected and artificial insemination will be done. ठीक है, the semen of someone either from the husband or from the donor, and that will be entered into the female reproductive tract and the fertilization will take place. Since the fertilization is taking place inside the body, it is called in vivo. Fertilization is taking place inside the body. So हमको वो सारा कुछ नहीं करना, अंडा निकाल के लाओ, स्पर्म निकाल के लाओ, उनको कंडीशन दो. That is all. You have to just worry about the gametes. ठीक है. Fertilization take place inside the body in the condition and further process take place in the body of the female. So it is called in vivo fertilization. So in vivo and in vitro differences are clear. In vitro, the fertilization will take place in the laboratory. In vivo fertilization take place inside the body. किस किस के लिए कौन कौन सा applicable होता है? I have already explained you. In vivo fertilization process to collect the ova either from the wife or from the donor. Hormonal treatment are given. Ova is collected, transferred into fallopian tube. Then the semen is collected from the husband or from the donor, and then the semen is inserted or the insemination is done. Further fertilization will take place. Another thing, in vivo fertilization. Sometime when the female is not able to produce, ये तो दोबारा हो गया, क्या हो गया? I think I pressed the wrong thing. Next is gift. Now it is not a gift which we give to someone. It is something different. It full form is gamete intra-fallopian transfer. Gamete intra-fallopian transfer. Now this is a case for women. The woman who is not able to produce egg, then she had to take she has to go to the hospital. Those people will arrange, either donor they will arrange or they may ask कि भाई आप ले आओ किसी को, you bring someone from the family and the hormones will be given, the ovulation will be checked. When the ovum is released, the ovum will be collected and that ovum will be placed into the female's fallopian tube. ठीक है, So when the woman is not able to produce ovum, in such case the ovum is collected from the donor. Such an ova is stored in the cryogenic condition. जब उसका menstrual cycle वगैरह हो जाए, जब the uterus is thick enough, टाइम हो जाए, then क्या होगा? Either the husband will be inseminating in it or artificial insemination will be done. Fertilization will take place inside the body and the zygote will form. Okay? So what we have to do is only the gamete is to be placed into the fallopian tube. बाकी सब कुछ normal है. Okay? So that is gamete intra. ICSI. अब क्या हो गया, कई बार क्या होता है, वी आर स्टडीड द मोटिलिटी ऑफ द स्पर्म एंड ऑल. ठीक है, द स्पर्म इज नॉट रीचिंग अप टू देयर, और इफ इट इज रीचिंग दे आर नॉट एबल टू पेनिट्रेट इनटू द egg. ठीक है, in that case what we'll have to do, we have to take the egg out, we have to take the sperms and artificially we have to inject the sperm into the egg. That is called intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So when the sperms are unable to fertilize the egg, in that case क्या, it may be due to immunological issue कि भाई उसको allergic issue है, sperm जैसे आया अंडे ने कहा हो आप कौन हमारे, चलो भागो यहाँ से. ठीक है, तो they may not be allowed to fertilize it. ठीक है, the egg may, the sperm may, egg may not welcome the sperm. तो in that case ये immunological issue हो गया. Now in such case the ova is to be collected from the woman if she is producing well and good, नहीं तो donor से ले लो. ठीक है, and the sperms are collected from the husband if he is producing well and good, otherwise donor से ले लो. ठीक है, and then the sperm are artificially injected into the ovum through micro injection. We have got very high precision devices. So when the sperms are microscopic, the needles are also microscopic, eggs are also microscopic. तो इतने छोटे से अंडे के अंदर इसको घुसाना बहुत मुश्किल काम है. ठीक है, तो these are microscopic. तो once the zygote is formed, again 8 cell fallopian tube में, 16 cell यूट्रस में, कौन सी स्टेज में है उस हिसाब से हम स्टेप ले लेंगे. ठीक है, so more than one steps may be required in these all cases. Okay, and that is why it is expensive process. AI, artificial insemination. Now sometime what happens, the male is not producing enough of sperm, or the sperms are produced but the live sperms are less, many of the sperms are dead, or sometimes the male is not producing sperm at all. In that case we have to take the sperm from donor and these sperms are to be collected. So देखिए, when number of sperms are less or the motility of the sperm is improper, in such cases the sperms can be collected either from the husband. तो वहां अगर नंबर कम है तो 2 3 4 बार का ले लेंगे, और अगर नंबर ठीक है तो वेल एंड गुड, अदरवाइज डोनर से ले लेंगे. तो द डिपेंड है ना, इफ द नंबर ऑफ स्पर्म्स आर लेस पर काउंट, देन वी विल कलेक्ट द 2 3 times insemination artificially in the laboratory, and the sperm will be collected in enough amount, otherwise from the donor, and then this will be using some device inserted into female reproductive tract. So once required amount of the sperms are collected, this can be artificially inseminated into the vagina or into the uterus, either in vagina or in the uterus. ठीक है, अगर यूट्रस में डाल रहे हैं तो दिस विल बी कॉल्ड एज इंट्रायूट्राइन इंजेक्शन. ठीक है, so this is through properly sterilized devices. All the devices should always be sterilized. If you are using any thing which is entering in the body, it should be sterilized. It should not have any type of infection. To ensure fertilization, the right time of menstrual cycle is to be taken care of. ये तो सिंपल से बात है. हमने we have studied it for the normal case also, and here तो we want that the patient should not come again and again, and the sperms cannot be wasted and all things. तो in that case we ensure that वो 12वें 13वें 14वें दिन के अंदर ही the menstrual cycle is proper. ठीक है, so that the chances of fertilization increases. So with the development of new techniques, having baby is easy. Now we have studied all the processes. Okay, तो अब ये आसान हो गया, मतलब रे ऑफ होप तो है. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि भाई आप बिना बच्चे करेंगे. हाँ, अगर उसका यूट्रस बिल्कुल ही नहीं काम का है, the female is not having uterus strong enough, in that case they will have to look for surrogate baby. Surrogate baby के अंदर केस क्या होगा, the egg will be taken from the woman, the sperm is taken, and this fertilization is done, zygote are formed, 8 cell stage is done. Then they have to look for a lady who is ready to rent a uterus. ठीक है, and this zygote will be placed into her uterus, and after the birth of the child, the lady will give the baby to them. Surrogacy is not a regular practice, but it was a regular practice in our country, but now the rules are made. Now surrogacy can only be possible under certain rules within the family only. अब आप ऐसे कहीं बाहर जा करके नहीं करते. There are a number of cases where the surrogate foreign people used to come in India and used to have surrogacy. Okay, तो अभी वो चीज़ों पे बैन लगा दिया. Number of restrictions are there because number of time what used to happen is that surrogate mother used to deny कि मेरे को नहीं देना बच्चा, और they used to blackmail them कि इतना लेंगे तब देंगे. ठीक है, so that is why these all things are. So however, these are require lot of hormonal treatments and frequent visit to the hospitals. Now you know hormones are not a things to be playing with. Okay, अगर आपने गलत सलत हार्मोन या ज़्यादा कम दे दिया तो it will lead to the severe problems and that may be for lifelong. ठीक है, so that is why ये कोई आसान काम नहीं है. Now these practices require high precision. I said माइक्रो इंजेक्शन तक करना पड़ सकता है. द एग निकाल रहे हैं ओवरी में से, तो all these things require very high precision and the hospitals are very less. Few hospitals are there, that is also in the big cities. So है, options are there, but only for people who can afford, who can give time, who can visit hospital number of times and all. ठीक है, अब एक एस्पेक्ट सीबीएसई की बुक में लिखा है. देखिए, अनदर एस्पेक्ट मेंशन इन द सीबीएसई बुक that is interesting. It says that though the options are many, we have studied so many options in vitro fertilization, in vivo fertilization, gamete intra fallopian transfer, or IUI, ICSC, and artificial insemination. So 6 or 7 method, and surrogacy is not there in the book, but I already mentioned. तो method तो बहुत सारे available है, but it says that though the options are many, but thousands of orphan and destitute children are there in our country. So what it will be better if they can adopt any one of these child, so the child will also get a home and the mother, the couple will also get a child. So it will be a win-win situation for both of them. अच्छा लिखा है बुक में, लेकिन इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, क्योंकि मेरा मेरा ही होता है, दूसरे का दूसरा का ही होता है, ऐसी फीलिंग रहती है लोगों के अंदर. ठीक है, सो बट इफ दिस इज देयर तो बहुत अच्छा ही रहेगा दोनों के लिए. सो दैट्स ऑल इन दिस चैप्टर. काफ़ी कॉमन चीज़ें थी ये. दिस इज नॉट ऑफ class 12th syllabus itself, but it is a common thing. I wanted that more and more people should know that what are the options available. There are number of divorces taking place, there are number of suicides taking place, there are number of breaking of the families taking place, there are number of other things are there. So आप ये ना सोचे कि होप ही नहीं है. रे ऑफ होप है इस चैप्टर का नाम. Okay, so this is a ray of hope for all those couples who are not having children or those who are इनफर्टाइल. तो ये इस वीडियो के अंदर मैंने आपको बताया. अब ये वीडियो आप कई सारे जनों के साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं. प्लीज लाइक द वीडियो, तो छूट ही गया. प्लीज लाइक द वीडियो. ओके, सब्सक्राइब द चैनल, एंड ऑल्सो अगर आपके पास कोई डाउट है तो आस्क द डाउट. ठीक है, एंड कमेंट, एंड हाउ यू लाइक द वीडियो, प्लीज टेल मी, and tell me the other topic which you want the video on. Okay, any suggestion for the improvement? सब लाइट अच्छे नहीं आ रही है, ये कलर वो कलर मैच कर रहा है, ये इसके साथ सही नहीं जा रहा, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है, दिस और दैट. राइट एनीथिंग, अच्छा बुरा, बुरा तो ज्यादा लिख सकता है ना आदमी. सो यू कैन राइट. ओके, आई वेलकम योर कमेंट्स. थैंक यू. That's all in this video. Thank you, children. So it is not only for the class 12 children, it is a general video which can be shared among any people whom you want. Thank you, children. तो ये इंफॉर्मेशन है, ये नॉलेज है, ये जानकारी के लिए है, और कई सारी चीज़ें आपको मालूम पड़ा होगा कि प्रोसेस होता कैसे है. दैट्स ऑल चिल्ड्रन. थैंक यू.